going on?
I got it.
Okay. So welcome everyone to Hack School. I'm Garrett, filling in for David, who couldn't be here today, unfortunately. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about what Hack School is about and just things in general. So this workshop will be about HTML and CSS, but Hack School as a program overall is designed to teach you the basics of web development and concepts to teach you how to code, essentially. So it's designed for beginners with no experience. So you can come in not knowing anything and just learn how to make a website, basically. So this workshop will be going over HTML and CSS, and then eventually JavaScript in the later workshops, and React as well. So pretty much everything you need to build a modern front end for a website. And yes, no brain cells are necessary. We will teach you everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my intro. I don't really know what else to talk about. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna pass it off to Alvin to talk about the resume drop-off that we have for Robinhood.
Oh yeah, thank you. Is there a slide for it or no? Do you have the link? I forgot to copy the link.
On the next slide.
Give me 1 second. Let me find the link. Okay, yeah. So, I'm the sponsorship lead with ACM, and a lot of the some of the companies that are sponsoring us this year are, want to recruit from ACM's talent, right? So they want ACM's resume database. So one of our companies this year, one of our sponsors this year, Robinhood, we're going to send out the resume database tonight. So if you want your resume to be at the top of Robinhood's resume pack, be sure to submit your resume at the link that Garrett dropped in chat right here. Yeah. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to submit it. If you're like debating whether or not you should, there's no harm in submitting it, So be sure to do that. Yes. Yeah, this is by tonight. So we did make an announcement a few days ago, but since today's the last day, and I thought I'd come out to this event and make sure that you guys get us submitted as well. Yeah, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. You can DM me. Yeah, thanks, Garrett. Thanks, Trisha.
So here are some important links for today. So we have links for the workshop, and we have the slides posted as well. And then very important that, so today we will introduce the project that we're gonna do for the workshop 1, HTML, CSS, and then workshop 2, which is like further HTML, CSS. I will drop the link of the starter code in the chat. So remember, this will take you guys to the GitHub. So later we will copy the starter code from the GitHub. So yeah, and then here is the check-in code. So remember to check in ACM. .ucsd.com. Yeah, Garrett, you wanna go ahead?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you wanna go ahead and start the workshop?
I won't be teaching the workshop.
Oh, okay. So Trisha, you wanna go ahead?
Part of the intro.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I already talked a little bit about what Hack School is. But yeah, it's just a workshop series about developing a project from start to finish. Yeah, learning web development, learning how to code. You can come in with no experience and just learn everything from here. Don't forget to join our Discord here, acmurl.com/hack-discord. And then throughout these workshops, we're going to have content presentation by the event leads. We're going to have hands-on coding sessions. So if you need help with your coding and you're struggling with the concepts, we can help you out with that. And also Discord channels with volunteers to help out.
Yeah, Trisa, do you wanna go over and take?
Okay, so what is web development? Web development is essentially the building, creating, and maintaining of websites. This includes aspects such as web design, web publishing, web programming, and database management. The most common languages used for web development are HTML and CSS, which we'll be going over in this workshop, but also JavaScript and Python. Web development is typically separated into front end and back end, and we have a meme for you that this basically describes those two things. On the next slide. Yeah.
So I will just give a quick demo of what we are building today. So today we are building this very simple website, which kind of like have 3 different pages. So the first page is what we're gonna build today. So basically, you just put your favorite Spotify song in this website. So so today we will introduce several like HTML components. Like for example, we have this those tags, and then we have the image of your favorite song, and then I chose Skyfall because I'm fan of 007. And then I also and then we will also use, oh, can you, is there an echo again? Can you guys hear me clearly? Okay, cool. Yeah. And then we will use CSS to style this. And then we also have this Spotify embed code. So if you click play, it will play your favorite song. And then the second page we're gonna build in the next workshop is your favorite playlist. So pretty much this section is also the embedded code from Spotify, and it's very easy. We will demo this later. And then here is a scrolling bar of your favorite playlist, like music cover. So basically we will use this CSS to style this. And then the third page is just some random like sounds. So after you click those sounds, it will play some random music. So the reason why we have this page is to introduce the CSS grid components. And then later in the hack school later stage, you will use the grid components. And yeah, so that's what we are building today. And then Trisha will go ahead and introduce a little bit about HTML with you guys.
Okay, so first off, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It allows the user to create and structure sections, paragraphs, headings, links, and block codes for web pages and applications. HTML is not a programming language, meaning it doesn't have the ability to create dynamic functionality. Instead, it makes it possible to organize and format documents similarly to Microsoft Word. When working with HTML, we use simple code structures, tags, and attributes, which we'll go over later, to mark up a website page. Overall, HTML is a markup language that is really straightforward and easy to learn, even for complete beginners with no brain cells in website building. Okay, so the next slide goes over some HTML tags that you'll want in your code. The HTML tag in the very beginning should surround everything and is meant to be the container for all other HTML elements other than doc-type HTML. Within HTML, you can break it down into 2 sections, head and body. Head is the container for metadata, which isn't displayed. It provides the browser information about the page, such as styles, scripts, and other information. Body contains all the main contents of the HTML page, like headings, paragraphs. And then if you look on the next slide, it shows you what this code does. As you can see, the title, all the metadata goes here, is like the tab name. And then all site content goes here. That was in the body tag. And then here are a few more basic HTML tags. What exactly is metadata? So metadata is like information about the page that like the browsers will see. Garrett, do you have like a better explanation for that?
Yeah, I think data about the data is probably a good explanation. It's just yeah, basically just information about what the page contains, like the title, the description, thumbnail, all that.
Yeah, does that answer your question? Okay, cool. And then here are some other basic HTML tags. The first one is image. You can use that to insert an image onto the page. We'll go over how later. A helps you insert a link into the page. H1 is the header tag. It goes from H1 to H6, where H1 is the largest header and H6 is the smallest. H1's like the main heading and everything else, they're all subheadings. P is the paragraph tag. Form allows you to make forms, and div is for other tags. You can use that to group data. HTML attributes are modifiers to an HTML tag. You use them in the opening tag to control the element's behavior. As you can see in image, you have src equals dungeon.jpg, which means that the image is that URL or that name of the document. For href, that's the link it'll take you to. So that would link you to acmucsc.com/hackschool. And I think if you go to the next slide, there will be boxes that highlight what the attributes are, like that, yeah. And then for input type, it tells you what type of input that little HTML thing will take. It really depends what tag you're using, which attributes which will be available. So yeah. So if you take all of this knowledge and you can write code like this, just copy paste it into a file and make a similar web page as to what's on the next page. Next slide. So yeah, if you copy this into an HTML file and then open on the browser, this is what you would see. You can make a little page about your pet or like a dog you want to steal. I don't know. Please don't steal my dog.
Okay, so now I will take over and we will build the small project that I demoed. So first of all, so we provide the starter code in the GitHub. So now we can go to the GitHub and then we can clone the starter code that we provided for you. So the starter code, let me paste the link again. Yeah, yeah, I will send you guys the link to. Or I can just send this GitHub link directly. So I think both links works. So yeah, so in the starter code, we just provided you the Spotify logo and also the Spotify background. So this is the green background and also the Spotify logo. So we can go ahead and let me clone the so we can clone the GitHub in here. So let me reopen the, so we go to VS Code. If you guys have VS Code downloaded, or you can just clone in your terminal as well. So first of all, let's go. So for me, I'm going to my ACM folder. Oh, I already, so for me, I already cloned it. But let me go ahead and make another directory. So ACM, yeah, ACM hack. So now I can go to ACM hack. And then I will do git clone. So I will paste the link, which you will copy from here. So, and after you do enter, it will copy, it will download all the starter code that you need. So let's do ls, which is listing all the folder and file in this directory. So now we go to this hack school 421, and then do ls again. We can see that starter code is right here. So in the VS Code, you can just open the folder ACM hack, and it will just open the starter code that you need. So what we will do first is to make a file. So first of all, we will make a HTML file called favorite song. And then what will be in the HTML file, we will create a navigation bar. And we will talk about this in the next slide. And then what you guys should consider about is, so first off, so choose your favorite song. And then what we will do next is we will make a header called favorite song. And then what we will use is h1 tag because this is the biggest text that they have. So this is a large sized header. And then we will insert a picture of your favorite song. And it will be a image tag. And then we will also do so put down the basic information of your favorite song. And then here the hint is we will use div. The reason why we are not using h1 or h2 tag is because as we can see in the demo, that the song name is even bigger than h1 tag. So h1 tag has specific size, but we want this to be even bigger. So that's why we will use the div tag. And then the div tag can be used as a container for HTML elements. And then we will style this later with CSS. And the final part of this website will be a Spotify embed code. So it will be very easy. I can demo how to embed the Spotify link to the website. So you will go to your favorite song in Spotify and click the embedded code. So that's pretty much the whole content in the favorite song. So first of all, what we will write is a nav bar. So the nav bar is something on the top. So as we can see in this example, so the nav bar gives you, so right here we have song, playlist, and play. So if you want to click this page, and then you will click a song, and if you want to go to playlist, and then it will take you to the playlist page. So nav bar is pretty much the bar, the component that allows you to and then take you to the different page. And this is what we will build first. So first of all, we want to create a new folder, a new file, sorry, called favesong.html. So right here, our first thing to do is this HTML basic template that for every HTML you will have this thing. So we need a HTML to close this, and then we will have a body tag, So inside of the body, it will be all the content that we have. And then, but before the body, we need this header tag. So header is basically what we have right here is the nav bar. So inside of this header, what we can put is, so first of all is this image. And it's the Spotify logo. And then we have this nav tag. So inside of this nav tag is the nav bar that we're gonna implement. So let's go ahead and do this. So inside of here, so we want to have, first of all, we want a image, and then so image, and then for each image, we need a source. So the source is the URL of your image. And then since I provide you the green logo of the Spotify, we can just use this logo directly. So if you want to access the local image, what you will do is find the image in the local folder. So right here, I have the Spotify logo that provided. And then, so now if you want to check your progress, what you will do is open a Chrome, and then you can open a folder and then find the place that you put your HTML file. So favorite song.html, and then we can open it. And then here you can see that the Spotify logo is right here. So then let's go back. So now we have this image, and then we want to have this nav bar. And inside of the nav bar, we will create an unordered list. So this tag is called unordered list. We have ordered list as well. So unordered list is basically, so the difference between unordered list and the ordered list is, for the ordered list, you will see the number before, you will see the number. So which is like, if you have a list, it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but unordered list, it will be just a list. So now we go to this list item. So for each item, it's a link to the page. So remember, how do we do the link? So the link is a tag. So for the a tag, we need a href as well. So href is the place that you want to put the link. So for this part, we want to direct to the favorite song.html. So we put favorite song.html, and then the text for the song, it will be just song. So if you refresh it, you see that this is the song, and it will take you to the page. But if you, and then we will create 2 more this for the favorite playlist page, and also the play.html. However, we didn't create those 2 files yet. So what will happen is, if you refresh it, yeah, so you can see that there is 3 links. So if you click this, it will go to the file couldn't access, because we didn't create that file yet. So we want to change this text to playlist, and then change this to play. And then we want to create this to HTML file as well. So favorite playlist.html, and then play.html. Okay, so now we have these two files. So if we save it, and then now let's go ahead, and you can see that after you click this, it will take you different page. However, it's empty because we didn't add to anything. So yeah, and then now, we have the nav bar pretty much done, but we can see that the logo is too huge. So what we want to do is define the height for the image. So the height I want the height for this image to be just 40 pixel. So after you define the height, the image will be smaller. So as we can see here, now we have Spotify and we have the nav bar, but we need CSS to style this. So now pretty much we have the nav bar pretty much done. Now let's go to the, so after we have the nav bar done, then we want to continue the file with the whole, the content that I talk about. So first of all, what we need is a title called favorite song. So what we will use is H1 tag. So H1 tag is the biggest text that we have. And then I need a image of the music cover. So here I use the image tag, and I have the source to be this link. So this link is the reason why it's very, sorry.
Can you like slow down just a little bit?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. So I can go back to the nav bar if you guys have any questions for the nav bar. Yeah, so yeah, and I forgot to talk about this part. So copy this chunk of code in favorite playlist.html and play.html as well, because as you can see in the product we have right here, that in all pages we have this nav bar. So what we want is to copy this part of code, the header, in the favorite playlist HTML as well. So we want to copy pretty much this block of code in the favorite playlist.html and then play.html as well. Yeah, and then now we can go ahead to the content. So right here, the image tag is the one that we have for the music cover. So for me, my favorite song is Skyfall. So what I will do is, so for the source is the image URL. So I will go ahead and then go to Google and just Google Skyfall Adele. And then I'll go to image. And then, for example, where is the cover? So this is the music cover, but I like this one better. So I'll go ahead, right click. So right click, and then do copy image address. So after we do copy image address, then you can go paste it in the, so we have this image tag. Sorry, we have this H1 tag for the favorite song first. Favorite song. And then we have this image. So copy the link. So then now you have this image. And then if you click save and go back to the place that you can check your progress. So here we go. So now I have the H1 tag favorite song. And I also have the music cover of my favorite music. So now we will do the styling CSS later. So now we have this two component, favorite song and also the music cover. And what we are missing is the song name and also the information about the song. So right here, I have the div tag. So the reason why I put into a div tag is because, as I said, so in the demo, Skyfall is even bigger than the favorite song. So the way I did is if I want this text to be larger than favorite song, then I cannot use H1 because H1 is smaller. So that's why I put into the div tag, and then we will use the class equals name. So we will use this to style this text. And then same thing for the information about the song. So where I put so here I put the artist name and the release date of the song and also the album that the song is in. So and I also use the class artist to style this HTML tag. So and then let's go ahead and then do this together. So I want to add two more components. So first component is the Skyfall. So the name of the song, so which is Skyfall. And then the information, the basic information of the song. So which is I have the artist name, Adele, and then I have the release year, 2002, I believe. Oh wait, 2012. Yeah, 2012. So I have the release year of the song, and then I have the music album, which is the James Bond. So here, and we can save it, and let's go ahead, and then we can see the update. So now I will have the name and then the basic information of my favorite song. So then so after that, we can ignore all the div class equals container and things like that. We will do this later when we actually have to style it, and then I will demo it so you guys can follow. So now the iframe. So what is iframe? So iframe is is a HTML component of nested browser context. So basically it is inserting another HTML page into this HTML page. So how do you do this part is, so as I said, this is a Spotify embed code. So very easy. So now go to the Spotify and then find your favorite song. So right here, Skyfall is my favorite song. So what you would do is click this more tag, and then there is a share button, and then you can just do copy embed code. So after you click it, you have this link now, and then now we can just paste it right here. So here we go. So basically Spotify provide you the HTML components of the iframe. So basically for the iframe, you have a source as well. So the source is, it will take you to the Spotify, and it has width and height. So this defines how big is your component. So let's see now, if you want to go ahead and check. So you can see that here is the Spotify embed code. So the width is 300 the width is 300 and the height is 380. So this is what you will look like. And then for the rest of this is different attributes. So for example, frame border, if you want a border for this, then you increase this number. And then allow transparency is another attribute. And then also this is a different, and then allow is another attribute for iframe. And then if you really want to know how, like, what is this two attributes works, I think you can just go look for iframe and in HTML, and then it will have further explanation for these two attributes. So basically we have this iframe component. So after we save it, so yeah, so now we have all the components that we need in this page. 007 is my favorite Pokemon. Yeah, so now we have all the HTML needed for this website. So is there any question about this? We will have the solution code posted later in the GitHub. So now we have all those HTML code, then later we will style this with CSS. So yeah, now we can go ahead and introduce CSS. So CSS is basically the way to make your website prettier. And I will go ahead pass to Trissa.
Okay, cool. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so basically CSS is cascading style sheets. It's used to make HTML pretty. The syntax is pretty simple. It's written using a selector and a declaration block. The image down there labels which part is which. The selector is pointing to which elements get affected by the styling choices within the declaration block. There are different ways of styling. I think you might have seen the inline styling earlier when you was changing the height and the width of things. You just use the style attribute for the tag, and then it'll apply to the specific element you're putting that attribute on. So for example, in that code, it'll only style that H1. Internal CSS is done within the head and head tag mentioned earlier to hold metadata. So you would do the style tag, and then within that, you'll just type CSS. External CSS is done on a separate .css file, specifically made for all of the styling. Okay, so what are selectors? We can use selectors to select different elements in different ways. One way is to use the element tag, which selects all of those elements with that tag. Can you go to the next slide? Okay, so this example, do you see the div class example? But then above in the CSS, it's just the selector part. The very first part is only div. If there were other divs, the backgrounds for all of those would be red. So, but then in the next slide, you can see that since there's only one, only that one is red. But if I copy pasted that, made another one, that div would also have red background. Okay, next. So what if we wanted to select only one element with a div tag and only wanted to style that one div rather than affecting all of the other ones? We would use classes and IDs, which are specific identifiers. Classes are generally used for multiple elements, whereas IDs are used only for one element. They're basically like labels, so you can figure out which ones you're referring to within the CSS. In case of any conflicts, ID will always override class and class overrides element. Next slide. So here you're muted. I think you generally should put the CSS file in the same folder. If you don't, you have to modify the path whenever you link them together. Let me see. Like when you're linking CSS files, I think you want to use something like this. But then if it's in a different folder, you'd have to like modify that path. Does that answer your question? Okay, so moving on, using classes and IDs. If you look at this example, the div ID has header. So if you look on the right, it's #header, which that's how you indicate that you're looking for an ID with header. So it would style everything within that div with the font family Calibri. I don't want to say it right, but all the text will be in that font. The P class styling is red. So if you look on the right, it's .red. The period is an indicator for like you're looking for something with a class name red. It would make all of the HTML elements with that class, their font would be red. So in this example, which paragraphs would be red? It would be the first and last one. Yeah, those are the ones, yeah. Not the second one because it doesn't have the class.
Yeah, and then now we will introduce the Flexbox. So Flexbox is a good way to group items within the section. And then generally it can adjust its dimension based on the size of the screen. And how do you use the Flexbox? Basically, in the CSS file, when you style a element, you will do display and flex to your element in order to use Flexbox properties. And then we have two pretty important properties, which is justified content and align items. So justified content is used to adjust items along the main axis. So if you want to adjust anything horizontally, then you want to use justified content. And then if you want to style anything, style the elements vertically, then you want to use align items. So basically it adjusts items along the cross axis. And we will use Flexbox a lot for when you do HTML, CSS website development, because Flexbox is very useful. And we will use Flexbox in our example as well. So now we will style our web pages. So what you will do is, first of all, you want to create a new file called styles.css. So in our example, we use the external CSS that we mentioned about. So which is creating a separate file for CSS, because when your web page is more complex, the CSS is very long. So that's why we use a separate file to put our CSS in. And then leave it open, since we will add some selectors in the next slide. So now what you want to do is go to your fave song.html and add the line to the head section, which is so you have a link, and then the ref you will have the style sheet, and then you have a ref that's the styles.css. So we can do this together. So first of all, what we want to do is yes. So what we want to do is create a CSS file. So styles.css. So now we have this this CSS file. And how do you use this CSS file is, so you go ahead inside of this HTML tag, you want to create a head section. And then inside of this head section, you can put this link. So we want to do the same link, and this is a style sheet. And then the link to it is the styles.css. So this is how you will import your CSS file into your HTML file. So someone asked, okay, so if the styles.css, so it should be at least the inside of the starter code file, because this is our project, right? But you can put the CSS file inside of a different folder called maybe CSS. So now if you want to use the CSS file, so let's move styles.css in here right now. So now styles.css is inside of the CSS folder. So we can no longer just do styles.css. So in order to access the CSS file, what we have to do is same thing as the image tag. So we have to access the CSS folder and then take the style.css. So it's under the CSS folder. Yeah, so the style sheet is very important because it kind of like specifies that this is the style sheet for this project or for this website. So so now we link the CSS file which with the HTML file. Now we want to copy this part of code to all the HTML file we have. So copy this block of code before the header. So go to each file and then add to this and then save. So now that all this 3 file is linked to this styles.css file. Okay, so after that, now what we want to do is to style the body tag. So the body tag applies. So the body selector will select all the elements inside of the body tag. So in our example, body tag pretty much, yeah, so the favorite song. So the body tag contains all the all the content that we have. So if you add a CSS for the body tag, then the CSS applies to all the element that we have right here, all the element. So now what we have right here is, first of all, we have this background image, and then the URL to it. So what this do is it will give a background image to the body of the website. So pretty much over here we have this green gradient background. This is corresponding to this background image. So after we add, so we have body, and then now we add background image. Oops. Background image. And then remember, you have to put URL right here, and then open the quotation. And then what you want to do is, so right here, so I provided this image to you guys already, so you can just use this. I probably has to copy this link. So now save this. Then you can go back to here and then refresh it. Oh, let me see. Is this updating? So background image, URL. Oh, let me see. Maybe it's the wrong name. So let me check this again. So we have URL. I don't know why it's not showing. So let me refresh it again. Okay. I might clear my cache or something. So I guess I can do a different way. So you can add a background image in different ways. So you can add the background image right here. So in the body tag, you can do background equals so / which access the current folder, and then you have background, so hex color gradient background, and then you save it. Now you refresh it. Let me see. Let me open this again. I don't know why it's not updating. So let me see. So isn't it because the CSS in different folder? But I already accessed this CSS file right here. So it's in the CSS folder. So it should be right. Let me take this style.css out right now. And then we will just use .css. Let's see. But the let's see if it works. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. So right here I need to do yeah, so now it works. So after we add this this background to the body, now what we want to do is also specify the background size as well. So for this background, it will be the so the background size should be the cover background size. Cover. And then we also want to specify the font family for the entire website. So for here, what I use is the thing called Source Sans Pro. This is the font that I use for the demo. So we have this. Oh, how did I fix this? Is pretty much so in the CSS, I changed this to so I pulled these styles.css out from CSS folder, and then changed this directory to just /styles.css. So this is how I fixed it. And now after we specify the font family for the whole body, now we want to put color. So the color is, so I want all the text inside of this body to be white. So I can just do color and then specify the the hex coding for white, so which is 4F right here. It's not hex coding. Hex. It's just the color for white right here. And then after we did that, we have two more elements, which is margin top and padding. So I will introduce the margin and padding first. So the margin is basically the most outer part of this. And then the padding is more of inside. So we want to add the padding on the top. So we have margin top, and then what I make is 6 pixel. And I also, and then let's save it and let's see what margin top actually does. So refresh, and we can see that the favorite, let me see. Yeah, the margin top is 60 pixel. So basically starting from here to the top, so the distance between favorite song to the top of the website is 60 pixel. And then now if I want to do padding, so padding, I also want this to be 60 pixel. So what will happen is it will add a 60 pixel to the left and then top button and then right. So let's refresh this. So as you can see that the favorite song and then the image and all the elements is 60 pixel of away from here. And then there is 60 pixel of right here as well. So and then now we finished the styling for the body part, and then next we want to go ahead style the nav bar. And then so let's go back to the nav bar. As we can see that the background color is black, and then it's completely sticked on the top of the website. So and then the height is actually 60 pixel that I set. And then let's go ahead and style this. So we want to select the header. Right here, the nav bar is inside the header. So for the header, I want the background color to be black. So other than do the color like this, we can just specify it's black. And then now if we save and then refresh this, we can see that this is black. And then next we will go ahead to put this section to stick to the top of the website and also stick to the left as well. So now go ahead and then I will do left is 0, top is 0, and then let's see. Sorry, let me save this again. And then we will specify that the right is 0 as well. Oh yeah, and then we also specified that, sorry, I forgot this one component, which is position fix. So you can only do left equals 0, top equals 0, and right equals 0 when you do position is actually fixed. So you need this component. And then now let's refresh this. So here you go. So now the header, the nav bar is sticked on the top. And then right now I want to change the height of the nav bar. So the height should be 60 pixel. And then refresh again. Now it's shorter. So, and then I want to style this part right now because now it's an unordered list. However, I want this to be horizontally aligned right here. So what I will do is I will add another selector, so header. And then I will do this star. So the star marks is used to select every item in the header. So basically when you do star, then the CSS will apply to the each item. So which is the the whole nav tag. So everything inside of here, it will follow the CSS that I put right here. So star selects every item in the header. So instead of here, I want to display this as inline. So inline basically makes the this list as a line. So let's refresh this. So now we have this 3 item inline instead of list. So it will align horizontally. And then now I want to change the color to white because as we can see right here, it's purple right now. But if we refresh it, now it's white. And then also, I don't want the underline to this text. So what I will do is have another CSS, which is called text decoration. Oops, text decoration. So, and I want to make this to be none. So now this links, if you refresh it, they don't have a underline to it. So you have to use text decoration none to get rid of the underline for links. And then now I feel this 3 element is too close. So now I want to add a margin to each of the elements. So I want to add a margin, for example, 10 pixel. Now we save it. And here and then you can see that it separates these 3 elements. And then, however, the Spotify and then this 3 thing is not really aligned to each other, like aligned vertically. So that's when the Flexbox comes in. So for the header, I want every element inside of the header have a Flexbox. So we can use the Flexbox like this. So display flex, and then I will apply the align item. So as I said, if you want to align the elements vertically, then you want to use align items. And then for align items, I want center. So now we save it. And then now everything is centered. And then if the things is not so if we want to practice the justify content, so justify content has center and left to right. So for example, we want to put this nav bar into center, then when you save it, it will so everything will be moved to the center. So now refresh it. So you see the nav bar, every element is on the center, but we don't want to have this into to be on the center. So we want to change this to so it has several. We want to have flex start because we want to have this 3 few elements right here. So now we finished the styling for nav bar. So align items only align vertically. So align items is usually used to style the thing vertically. So you use this for vertically, and then you use this for horizontally styling. And then now we finished the styling for Nav Bar. And then the last part of this web is to style the content of this website. So we have image. So I want to make, we have a image selected right here. So when I do image border radius 10, so this is applying the corner radius to this image. So let's go ahead. So I want to select the image, and then do border radius 10 pixel. Then now this one has a border radius around it. And now I want to make this image smaller. So you can do right here. So width, width. So I want to have width as 300 pixel. And after we save it, and then let's refresh again. So now the image is smaller. So now I'm finished with the styling for this image. And let's go back to here. So now we want to move the skyfall and this content instead of to be below the image, I want to be beside the image. So how do we do this? So right now, let's go back to the favorite song.html. So basically we're saying that now I want to group the image and this two div together. So how do we group this three element together? We will add another div around this three element. So, okay, so now this three element is one group, but let's go back to the website again to see. So actually inside of this big group, so the image and skyfall and the information inside of this big group, the skyfall and Adele is another subgroup that they are grouped together, and this image is another subgroup. So we have a big group and we have two subgroups. So image and also the name and the information. So what we want to do is now we want to group the image as one individual group, as one individual subgroup, and we want to group the skyfall and the basic information together as another subgroup. So now you can see that, let's make this a different line. So you can see inside of this big group, we have two small groups. So, right? So this big group, we want to give this a class called container. So this container wraps the image and the basic information of the song. And for this container, we want to, we want to make this as a Flexbox. So let's select this container. So the container is a class, so we need dot. So container. So we want this to be Flexbox, so the display to be Flex. And then now let's save this and to see what's the changes. Now let's refresh. Oh, sorry, it's this one. Refresh. You can see right now the skyfall and the Adele things is beside the image. It's not below the image because we applied Flexbox. Flexbox is basically a line that align the item horizontally. So now we go back. So again, we want to style the Skyfall and the adapt. So we want to give each item a class or ID to style this two element. So what I have here is I give Skyfall a name called name, and then give this to be artist. So now we save it, and then I want to give this wrapper another class called song information. So now I can style this part. So we go ahead, go to the CSS file. So for the, let's go ahead, select the song info. So we want Skyfall and the adele information have a margin of 30 pixel. So now let's save it and then see. So now it has a margin of 30 pixel. And I want to put this Skyfall in the middle. So go back to the container. So the container is this whole big group, right? So now I want to add, so I want align items, right? I want to put this into center. So now save it. And then you can see that it's in the center because we styled this with Flexbox, and then we align the item in the center. And then we want to use justify content to style this horizontally. So I want this to be just flex start, so which is align the item in the start. So basically it pretty much has the it doesn't change anything because it was starting from the start. So now let's go back. So right here, I'm gonna use a different type of selector, which is, as you can see right here, we have a div, and then the Skyfall is also a div, and with the class of name. So I can select this element by doing div dot name. So this is another way to style this. So we can do div dot name. I want to make this Skyfall font size as 80 pixel. So 80 pixel is pretty big. So now you save it and refresh it, and the Skyfall is really huge right now. And then we do the same thing for the artist. So I want to have a font size of 20 pixel. But I want the Skyfall to be bold. So how do you apply the bold? So you do font dot weight, and then make this to be bold. So now we save it. Let's see the update. So right here, now it is bolded, and then this one has a size of 20 pixel. And then next, we will put the margin of put a margin top to be 20 pixel because we want a margin between Skyfall and Adele. So let's click refresh, and then we see that there is a margin between these two elements. And then finally, we want to finally we just have this last element right here, and we want to make this the width to be 100% with this website. So you can either style this over here. So right here, we have width to be 300, but now if we want to change this width, then we can change to 100%. And then now you can refresh and it becomes 100%. Yeah. So yeah. So and then if you want to make this height to be shorter, then you just do 100. Then this is only 100. So yeah. So basically, that is it for the styling part. And let's go back. And then next, we're done. So thank you for coming. So if you guys have any question, you can just go to the chat and then we will answer the question. Oh, the Spotify logo. Oh, I didn't notice that. Let me style this. So the Spotify logo has, why is Spotify logo looks like this? Oh yeah, because I select this image. Let me see. So go back to the image. Oh, I make the width to be 300. I see. So this is the problem when you actually use the selector image, because it applies to every single image inside of this website. So that's why we don't really recommend to just use image directly. Usually what people do is maybe add a class for this image, and then add a class for this image. So, and then if you select this class, then you are styling only this element, not both image like this and this. So in this case, let's fix this. So I don't want extra classes. What I will do is, first of all, delete this width. And if I want this width to be 300, then I will just apply the width right here. So now save this and we will save this. And now refresh. The Spotify logo is good right now. Yeah. Yeah, so in the future workshop, we will go over the playlist and then the play HTML, h.html, yes. The font I used is, let me see. The font family. Oh, I need a comma right here. Oh, oops, not this one, sorry. So now let's refresh. Okay, so the font for this website is the Source Sans Pro. I can copy this to the chat. Sorry, I missed the comma right here. So the font family was not applying to the pages.
Okay, I will stop the recording here.